Alright, I'm back. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Whew. Let's get on with it, shall we? Bring that a little closer. My water bottle. Dun, dun, dun. Setting up an alarm. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Is that the... Oh, wow. I was like, that's the warrior climb on a woman? Alright. Milady. What's going on here? A heated discussion? Not that I'm complaining, Urianger, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Atheris, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loporrits a desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Excuse me. Kryl tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I have news to share regarding our study of the ethereal sea, but your findings are certain... and again, are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. To what revelations did Heidelin's Elpis flower lead? Well... a misguided empath caused all this. A failed idealist who became a cynical, I guess. A cynicist? I don't know what they call it. Yeah, who became a cynic, I guess you could say that. Then this dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akasha are one and the same, this all but proves Nidana's theory. We're an entity, through sheer force of emotion, to channel this vast, dormant reservoir into a raging river. Its power might surpass even that of ether. Especially with our planet sundered the way it is, though it's got thinner ether as well. But if our star is so replete with ether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the great expanse. Yeah. Meteon. Or rather, the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for millennia. Yeah. To get all those negative emotions sucked into her at once, it's no wonder she was the first to turn, but she turned when she did. Untold anguish and fear and hatred drawn from every corner of the universe. All for a single purpose, the destruction of Atheris. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. Nope, we got a target. We have but one aim, to defeat Meteon. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's pretty much it, as tragic as it is. Vanquish Meteon and we deliver the world from the final days. But to even attempt it, there are two conditions. Not just this world, though. I'm pretty sure she's trying to destroy the entire universe. First, we must determine her location. Before Meteon escaped, an enchantment was placed on her by Vana, the woman who would become Heidelin. Which means we gotta ask her. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume that our Heidelin and the Vana you met in Elpis are one and the same. This is true. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I'd wager that Heidelin possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Atheris, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Medion? Ivana, I know, would never give up. That's my impression too. Otherwise, she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. The point of living? Yeah. Hence the name of that song, Answers. All coming full circle. So, what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Meteon. Well, Charlene has a spaceship and the moon doubles up as one too, so... Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Then communing with Heidelin must by necessity come first. Did you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the Ethereal Sea? Sadly, not. Though we enlisted the help of Ehrenwald and other Echo-blessed allies, we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Heidelin, even from within the Anti-Tower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Heidelin. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus for observing the Ethereal Sea, built closer to home. The timing. Knock knock! Ojika Tsunjika. Sorry to interrupt, but we've just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the rostra where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. And Father was able to persuade them. Yeah? They're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say. Holy shit. Now we got the whole posse together. The Avengers are assembled. To think the Crystal Tower of the First is capable of such feats, as sending one's soul into the distant past. The events you witnessed and helped shape may yet hold the key to forestalling the final days. I'm reminded of dear friends in a future I unmade, whose selfless efforts saw the 8th Umbral Calamity averted. In this timeline, at least, too much has been sacrificed for us to abandon Atheris now. Yeah. In this timeline, at least, is what he said, yeah. After sending Graha and Estinian back to Garlemald, I stayed in Locus Aminus for a time. Being an imperial province, it was already in turmoil before the onset of the final days. You wouldn't believe the difficulties we had overseeing the evacuation of the villages we visited. I have faith the detachment we left behind will continue our work and shepherd the people to safety. To what safety can be found in a world coming to an end. Master Matoya has suspected for some time that the Forum has been constructing a new facility for the purpose of surveying the Ethereal Sea. Of course, as the custodian of the Anti-Tower, which would presumably be rendered obsolete as a result, she has a few things to say about that. Nothing that should be repeated in polite company, you understand. Yeah. He's fucking pissed. After you left for Garlemald, I went to Labyrinthos and tried to reach Heidelin using the Elpis flowers. Alas, my attempts were in vain. I can only assume that she spent a vast amount of her power in the confrontation with Fandaniel, and is presently unable to communicate. Right. Indeed, as her presence left my body, I could feel how faint it had grown. Hope you don't mind me staying behind while you attend your big meeting. The rostra reminds me a bit too much of the supremely scary tribunal in Ishgard. Don't forgive me if I keep my distance. I traumatize you, huh? I can see why. Father has granted us the opportunity we've been waiting for. Though we know not what information, if any, they intend to reveal, there's only one way to find out. To the rostra. Well, that was a much quicker response than I was expecting. Nice to know our efforts on the Magna Glakis didn't go unnoticed. 'Twas Heidelin's commandment that in the event Zodiac should perish, the Loporrits were to deliver the people of Etheris from harm. Though that be the limit of their duties, they possess knowledge unparalleled of the great expanse and the means of its traversal. Yeah. Should they be persuaded to assist in our efforts to reach Meteion, we would do well to heed their counsel. Yeah. At first, I wasn't sure what to make of Hermes and his motives. But it's like we discussed at the Great Work. When faced with the harsh realities of life, some seek the release of death. Others grow defiant. They fight. Either way, it is our right to choose. Well said, Estinian, well said. Milady. The forum is in session, and as such, the rostra is closed to visitors. Well, a scion of the Seventh Dawn? Very well, you may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Lest you forget, this sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden. Right. I remember. Not a bad policy, honestly. Too bad that on certain days, you know, when certain aggressors come knocking at your door, you have no recourse but to answer in kind, unfortunately. People who refuse to see reason, all that stuff. Anyway, I don't know if the cutscene will do it for me or not, but I figured now's an appropriate time to do this, so. I'm willing to bet the cutscene just makes your weapon go away, and that's it. Like the convocation of 14 again, but except it's 99 fulls this time.
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Yeah, man. Let us know.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter. On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glacies. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzadhan. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Rabzat Khan was foremost among these, but since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
And how,
Uh-oh.
pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
Here we go.
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem? We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication.
And so what I was saying before we time traveled, yeah.
One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
We can get to where Medion is, right?
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself. Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms? "71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it. Fortuneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Alrighty. Well, that went okay. Rest assured, I have every intention of honoring the Forum's decision. Chat Crit? My affinity for espionage may have earned me the title of Archon, but I was completely unaware of the Forum's plans. There may have been clues here and there had I been of a mind to look for them. But contemplating that possibility only serves to further wound my pride. Not that anyone could have realistically surmised that their brilliant stratagem was to build a giant ship, fly to the moon, a still larger vessel in truth, and use that to travel to another star. And even now, the whole idea seems positively absurd when spoken about. Yeah, the only problem continues to be that Midgard's Hormer said there is no other star. Of late, I have seen no sign of the Loporrits. This being their first opportunity to experience the wonders of Sharlayan, the potential for misadventure is nigh infinite. Oh, don't worry, they're getting up to shit. I'd help one of them with pudding. Perhaps if Midgard Sormer was still alive, in the traditional sense that is, he could have offered to help the vessel attain the necessary speeds. And again, there's no guarantee his contribution would make enough of a difference to matter. True. Though, I wonder what Estinian's... You might actually say that independent of what happens in the Omega race, with Midgard Sormer actually. While I very much take issue with the Forum's approach to selecting whom to save and when, they're not wrong for wanting to minimize potential conflicts. Yeah. Fortunately, if this plan of ours actually works, the Great Exodus itself will become entirely unnecessary. Yeah. The further we pursue the mysteries of the universe, the more I struggle to comprehend the fortuitous nature of time itself. We measure and quantify it based on observations of celestial bodies, such as the sun and moon. But from your account, it is unclear whether the ancients viewed time in a similar manner. I mention this because while Vana knew the final days would reoccur at a defined point in the future, she presumably had no way of knowing exactly when. Even so, the completion of the Forum's preparations to escape to the moon aligning so closely with the advent of the final days is surely no coincidence. Yeah. It makes sense. Hydaelyn knew when this was going to happen because of my trip to the past, I think. And yeah, time is just a weird, finicky thing. Related to gravity, but that's about all we know. I'm a little vexed that we've yet to learn of the Forum's replacement for the Anti-Tower, though I expect that in time they'll share that too with us. And with Master Matoya, if they've any sense. What's she gonna do, come rampaging in here? Phew! I'll admit bringing up the issue of the Forum's incomplete arc was more than a little daunting. They were, to their credit, quite open about the current state of affairs. What was even more surprising, though, was when they took Alpino up on his offer. Agreed. I think I spoke Alizé, right? Yeah. Alpina? What's your take on this? Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was admittedly thinking on my feet for the most part. Of course. But since we require both a means of communing with Hydaelyn and reaching Meteon, in the spur of the moment I saw involving ourselves with the completion of the Ark as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the ether burner. I'd like to think it is not a challenge beyond our combined expertise. Or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. We need to call on Sid, Mr. Airship Magitech Engineer guy. It might behoove us to learn how an ether burner actually works before we attempt to improve it, though. As Father seems so eager to help, maybe we can have him educate us about the ether burner. Yep. What's up, old man? Going underground. We're finally going to the second half of... They just said the name. Oh my god. You know, the little fucking overworld area with monsters in the Charlian. I can't remember the name now. As instructed, I shall take you to see the ether burner. Meet me outside the Archean. I trust you can make your own way there. Okay. So thank you, yes. So the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos, that place. Hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? Yeah, not that shocking. As soon as they mentioned they had a ship ready, I was like, oh, I think I know where they have it and where they're working on it. I have a feeling that's also the same place where we're probably gonna go talk to Hydaelyn, though. Maybe. They could have somewhere else in mind for that. The anti-tower replacement? Who knows? Your entrance papers appear to be in order. Do you wish to descend into Labyrinthos, sir? Sure. Wait, how far is that from here? Do they intend to carry everything in the Archean to the moon? They said they'd start loading scientific records and biological samples, but do they really need all of it? It seems so long ago we first set foot here. Where once we were refused entry, we are now welcomed as guests. Yeah, we can finally use the elevator, right? Among the many and varied documents sent to the moon, I did chance upon several inventories made in the Arcane. Mayhap the Forum believes such records would provide insight into the intricacies of clerical duties. Regardless, the Loperids did not consider them worthy of more than a cursory glance. Some would surely object to the Forum allowing foreign elements to have run of their secret facilities. We should count ourselves lucky. Right. It has been many moons since I last visited Labyrinthos. As vast as the archives were back then, they've only continued to grow in the days since. Right. That we have been granted permission to enter the lower levels is proof of our increased standing. Excuse me. Would that they had been willing to confide in us sooner. Yep. I don't understand the appeal of reshaping it to look like the world above. Make your peace with what it is, or go outside if that's what you prefer. What, this place? Seems like they should have just made it look like what it is, a fucking basement storage facility. Our destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Arcane's lift. Step inside and have Offline take you to the medial circuit. It's about damn time. You wish to use the lift, yes? Yeah. I have sent your associates ahead to Logisticon Alpha, on the other side of Mariel Agronomics. Okay. Actually, there is something I've been meaning to... Now or never, buddy. Say it! No, never mind. I can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. Looks like we still got a ways to go. That explains the shape of this now. Now it all makes sense. Okay, so this place. We never did come in here to explore this place before. I wonder what this place is actually for. The further underground we go, the more surprises we find. The fields we passed along the way brought back memories of Ferndale. Unfortunately, we were never blessed with such abundant crops. We must be close to the central circuit, which is where Charlene's greatest secrets are held. The tomes I perused told the whole story. On our journey here, I was filled with an inexplicable sense of elation to see vegetables other than carrots being cultivated. Why, near brought a tear to mine eye. He was so happy to be rid of carrots. Knowing the Forum, even the people working down here are probably kept in the dark about the true purpose of this place. Yep. Oh, there you are. Having words with Master Fortunel by any chance? Yeah, but he held back on what he was going to say. We are to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here being Logisticon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Water is drawn from underground and dispersed as vapor, stimulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? Why, father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind. When you went off somewhere with grandfather. Oh shit. Fucking got him. Payback, basically. The night before, I'd been asking father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. It's all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world, to grow inured to the wondrous. Very much. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Loporrits in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes in a new light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient Zodiac, a habitation built for all mankind. Beneath the moon's surface, each unique yet undeniably similar. Yep. Is no mere coincidence. Ever since Heidelin unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits Atheris, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos, in preparation for the Great Exodus, but that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on distant stars. Though the Loporrits have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, that is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. I have arranged for you all to enter the central circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions and will have free reign to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust. Your trust. Then let us proceed. By decree of the Forum, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are permitted to enter the Central Circuit. Please. If you will, my good lady. We might finally have the chance to commune directly with Heidelin, provided we somehow manage to succeed where Charlene's finest engineers have failed. Still, it won't hurt to have a look. This is it. The central circuit. Please tell me we're almost there. Or is there another underground level we have to reach? The even more central circuit, perhaps? I know, Ellie, I know. The sooner we can get a look at this ether burner up there, the sooner we can start working out how to improve it. I imagine the secrets kept here would be of great benefit to mine own research, but I will refrain from indulging my curiosity for the time being. The farther down we travel, the more expansive the sky above becomes, artificial though it is. Would that the heavens elsewhere could be so idyllic. Yeah. The temperate environment here is not unlike that of Bestway's burrow, though the diverse vegetation doth produce a far more complex bouquet of aromas. A welcome difference indeed, for I have grown weary of the scent of carrots. Yeah, I got that from your last sentence back there. I have no idea what makes Alfino so confident we can solve this problem of theirs. Relentless optimism, I presume. A not unwelcome trait in a youth. But less so in a gambler. Aye, let us resolve never to let him set foot in the gold sauce. Yeah, don't get into those scratchies there, Alfino, 'cause the ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kokol Dankol, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way. He looks lost in thought, although it seems he's hit something of a stumbling block. Perhaps you'd like to break the ice? Sure. This is the man we seek. Do try not to startle him. I'll do my best. He hasn't even realized we're here. Or perhaps he has realized, but just doesn't care. Is he talking to himself? I mean, I do that occasionally. For a closely guarded secret, you can see practically everything from outside, even with the magical barrier surrounding it. I was expecting the Sky Steel Manufactory, but instead I find the village smithy. Judging by his looks, surely the Forum hath already petitioned the aid of the Loperites, given their familiarity with such technologies. While many of the facilities within the central circuit seem to be visible from the upper levels, the more secretive work must be carried out behind closed doors.
I could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost my eyebrows. Think, Coco, think! we'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, masterful, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Not seen you lot down here before.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
What?
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding.
A rocket, yes.
Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the Forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Hast thou consulted with the Loperids?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ends like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up.
Alivane, I can attest to this, yes. The calls of Bahamut.
It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
Yes, thank you. The White Raven's ghost. It haunts me. You want me to go and fetch the what's-its? I have no problem with that.
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
Wait till you see the...
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours. What's all this?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
How poetic of you, Alfina.
This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-foot expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether. Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad.
You traveled the world over, man.
If you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal. Why a source like that with the ether burner? And 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
Susano's existence for a while can attest to that, yeah.
Heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking, and I'm a born plunderer.
Let him go.
Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
Sweet. Also, hey, Endwalker. Just saw you there. Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Alright, so what now? Appreciate you doing all this, but I ain't getting me hopes up just yet. There are no oaths or contracts binding the members of the Ilsabard contingent, and in many ways it was even more loosely organized than the Crystal Braves. Nevertheless, I knew none would refuse this call to arms. Truly, we have been blessed with trustworthy and dependable allies. Well, we've earned their trust through everything we've done up to now. In the past 10 years of this game's existence. I like that in-game to keep the passage of time vague, though. So that you always have a... what's it called? A sense of now-ness? Because somebody put it one time when they were talking about a TV show. Because that way, you know, when future generations of players play through the entire game really quickly, it doesn't feel like an enormous time expanse has passed. Time and time again, it seems that a login something or other are either the cause or the solution to our problems. Yeah. Yeah. I think the self-same materials that once launched Dalamud will now be used to help ferry mankind to the moon. There's poetry in that. Indeed. I'm confident that even the deadliest of the login defense mechanisms are no match for our allies. At this rate, some of them might soon have as many accomplishments to their names as a certain warrior of light. Huh. I like that. I won't be the only one everyone goes to for help. Considering how much of a fuss he made at the time, I don't see why he takes every opportunity to bring it up. It was just firewood. Oh, that's what he was referring to! Yeah, that flew over my head. I didn't realize Alfino was referring to that. First the Talakroy and now the final days. No one can accuse the Ilsabard contingent of backing down from a challenge. Of course, they weren't all so committed to the cause when we first set out. But after seeing the example set by you, Alfino and the others, the change was palpable. I couldn't help but believe. Indeed. What serendipitous irony that the remnants of the 7th Umbral Calamity would become the keys to mankind's salvation. Yeah, it's nice. I like the poeticness of it too. Never more certain have I been that Master Louisoix watcheth over us from the ethereal sea. Yeah, and going back to what Thancred said, well, yeah, the fact that we inspired everyone else to start to believe. That's why they say you have to become the change you want to see in the world, right? That's actually written on the back of my t-shirt. Are her feet sunk in the ground? What the hell happened? You see that? Though Bahamut is long gone, the internment hulks are far from safe. It could be much worse, of course. They won't have to fight their way past Mericidian dragons, nor is there any danger the Elder Primal might be summoned again. Even so, I dare say there are still a few fair login creations and contraptions remaining to bar our friend's way. I only hope that Grandfather watches over them. What the fuck happened here, dude? First typos and now this shit. Like I said, they stretched themselves out thin for this expansion. They got too ambitious with it. Oh my god. Also, yeah, I don't think it'll show up on... well... actually... nah, never mind. It's not that important. But yeah, I can't... oh my god, dude. That is just... yeah, that's funny. Anyway, let's keep going. My immersion!
You suck!
Anyway. Times like these were reminded of how famous, or infamous, Alfino has become. Who'd have thought he could achieve so much with a single link pearl conversation? As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Oh? And who might that be? That's for me to know and you to find out. And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. You know, call in Sid like I was saying, or something else? Meanwhile, in Ul'dah,
our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make.
that's why they're playing Coils of Bahamut music now?
Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must. Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials. Theurgeist, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberg will personally see it done.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults. Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Ul'dah's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together.
One of the themes of this game I was talking about, yeah.
It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Ul'dah will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ul'Namo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
Look at her! Actually leading Ul'dah now. Doling out orders. Organizing people. It's like, holy shit. He's come a long way. Meanwhile, in the Black Shroud, this is where the second coil of Bahamut was, right? Ul'dah was the first. This is where you gathered to launch that expedition as well. This exact spot. I see what the writers are doing. I like
We
it.
fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses. Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Our deficiency so plain to see.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
Meanwhile, in Kurthus, Archibald's gravesite.
There you are. We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already... Ah. That was a roar. A dragon's roar.
Meanwhile, in the Ruby Sea, I'm guessing the Dravanians are going to help too. Right, Spelker?
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honourable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid. Is that...
Hancock? What a surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
I didn't think they were going to tie in the Four Lords storyline to this. Wow. Fucking Seti just rolls up. It really makes me wonder how these cutscenes play out if you never did any side content now. Perhaps the same, but you just have no context for it. I like the new music. The determined music that we've heard before in previous encounters. It's like now or never, basically. Appreciate you doing all this, but I ain't getting me hopes up just yet. Same thing said before. So most probably haven't changed what they said, right? Yeah. Alright, Alfino, then what's up? No job too small. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? Ha! You've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about a logging technology. When are we calling on our boy Sid? I know he's not the super expert, but still. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. Yeah, he studied a lot about the logging during his time in the first. Ha! If only Master Cockle knew how right he was. While he and Graha establish a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse. And if nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Give me something to do, then I'll do it. Let's do it, Alfie. Oh, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you have a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlie and Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Ha! That lot need all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. I'll admit, without refined adamantite, I ain't got a bloody clue how else I could get the ether burner performing any better. If you lot don't come up with the goods, we're buggered. I shall endeavor to provide Master Cockle with whatever information he should require. Do what you gotta do, man. I'll leave y'all to it. More Aetheryte Havens. Y'all know what that might mean. Hey, they laugh.
Wait till you see them. No, 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 no.
Gonna have to hold that pause chant for a while. Hey, that's fancy. Look at that. I like what she's doing with the dragon. I think it's a Rathalos, right? Yeah. Fuck the trail, I'm going this way. In order to protect the secrets of the Central Circuit, the researchers must navigate the bewildering maze of paperwork before they are permitted to return to the surface. Wow, I suppose it's no different than any other aspect of Charlian society. We do love our bureaucracy. It's very much a mirror of the city above, which is perhaps how it came to be called Charlian Hamlet. What a quaint little settlement this is. A shame it is hidden underground. I know, right? Excuse me. I don't mind a bit of heavy lifting, but I draw the line at paperwork. So much as wave a sheaf of documents at me and I'll put my lance through it. Right on, Estinian. As surprised as I was to learn the Forum planned to send everyone to the moon, I can't imagine how the common folk must feel about it. I know. My senses deceive me. In the shadow of yon corner. One can but hope this leadeth not to mischievous undertakings. I don't know. He senses the Lopperids. Also, 90 on to the south. I think I missed an ether current. I might have to go back. 1 second. I forgot to do this. Again, you get engrossed in the story and you forget to do this shit. That's why I hate it that it exists in the first place. Okay, good. I didn't miss it. It's over there. Oh wait, I did. You can go through here. If you wanted me to explore every square inch of the environments you created, let me fly from the start. And I'll gladly do it. It sucks having to do it when you're slow and on the ground. 466 yawns to the north? That's way over there. We'll get there. I think I talked to everybody, yeah. Ali there? What next? From what I can tell, a lot of the people actually live down here. Oh, now I remember when this song played. It's when Thancred was doing his ninja thing. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Scholark Monteshane mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Right. Let's meet by the Aetheryte once our work is done. There it is! That's what the pause champ was for. Oh, they don't... Okay, you can't go down there yet. So I knew the side quests were coming, I was like, oh dude. I know somebody watching just for MSQ right now is about to dip. Well met, Traveler. Might I interest you in the Chocobo Porter? Oh, right, this shit. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Let the good times troll. Yes, exactly. Anyway. Excuse me, sir. I couldn't help but notice that you've a way about you that simply screams, I have an affinity for creatures of the wilds. And since I'm never wrong about such things, might I trouble you? Alright, what do you need? You see, amongst the troops of trolls living in the outer circuit, I came upon one who was sick beyond measure. Is this gonna connect to that other one? I took the poor creature in at once and saw him healed, of course. But when I attempted to return him to his rightful home, he flew into a panic as if he could not bear the thought of going back. To make matters worse, the troll saw fit to escape into a den of... what? Analysts? I would go after him, but I'm so fumble-footed I'll scare him off like it's not, and be torn limb from my pains by the fiends. So I turn to you. Would you seek out this troll of which I spoke? I shall provide you with his favorite food, and with it you should be able to calm the piteous thing. Hopefully that will be enough to see his senses restored and for him to come hurrying back. And though I shudder to think of it, if any of those fell Analas seek to impede you or pester that troll, make those beasts regret their interference. Oh, and don't worry, you'll be rewarded for your efforts. Happily ever after. Milady? Heavens forfend! To think this would happen in my kitchen! The nerve! Oh, you there? Yes, you! You've the look of a man who knows what he's about, and I'm in desperate need of one such as you. Picked myself a bushel of Mariel Agronomics' apples, but wouldn't you know, some nasty mandragora swiped those red beauties from under my nose. Not sure how they got in here in the first place, but that's beside the point. I could well try to steal them back myself, but goodness knows how many hours it'd be before I stumbled upon that blasted bandit. I'm only one woman. I can't cover all that ground by myself. So, be a friend and help me get my apples back, would you? Leave it to me. I just knew you'd oblige me. Now then, let's talk strategy. I'll scour the area just south of here, so you take the north, deal? Mandragoras bury themselves in the dirt to hide, so if you see one of their bulbous heads poking out of the soil, hit them with one of these malodorous bombs. They'll be so surprised to get a face full of stink, they'll leap out and leave behind my apples. The thief will probably take off running, but let them go. I just want my pilfered fruit returned. Besides, Mandragora carcass isn't on the menu tonight. Right then, I'll leave you to your search. Happy hunting. Okay. Hey, look at it this way. At least we get to do side quests with some very inspirational music playing in the background. I love the gentle but stern sense of urgency that it provides. Just like Tancred's, you know, infiltration mission, right? Herbicidal tendencies. What luck! You are just the gallant sort I was in search for. What do you need? You see, I whipped up an experimental new tincture, one that brings low a certain type of fiend. I had hoped the brave adventurer might test its efficacy for me in the field. Okay. And since you're here, perhaps you could fill that role. Good. Now then, about this solution of mine. With the help of some gleaners, I've crafted a concoction that can incinerate even the hardest of Seedkin's casings, allowing one to make a quick work of the beasts. Or so my hypothesis goes, anyway. Alas, my genius remains untested and thus unproven, which is where you come in. One so well versed in the ways of war should have no trouble at all verifying the tincture's efficacy, I should think. Based on the information I have ascertained, an oversized Birkenin can be found wandering about to the west of Logisticon Beta. Possess sadistic seedkin in my newest nostrum and... Wait, douse that sadistic seedkin in my newest nostrum, and bash it into a bloody pulp for me, would you? I'll do my best. I should do that for now. Only 5, but still. Just to avoid confusion. Seeing red. What is this? Sakan salad. The sakan serves as a star of this fruit-filled dish, complex and nutritious. Eat. Oh my, the ways of Thaliak are as mysterious as they are providential. To think a man so robust as you would appear before me in my hour of need. If this is not divine intervention, I know not what it is. What's up? I face a trial for which I am not equal, nor shall ever be. It involves the capture of my most feared nemesis. What was the herc? Is that like tomatoes? You see? I can barely speak the wild beast's name without my gorge rising. You would do well to consider my offer, truly. I have money set aside, quite a bit of it in fact. All you need to do is capture one of those wild vegetables. You'll find them near Mariel Agronomics, and they are quite hard to miss. Disgusting things that they are. Okay, Fajola. Alright, milady. I'll see what I can do. The case of the missing gleaner. Excuse me, but can I trouble you for a moment? I'm looking for someone, you see, and I was hoping you might help. I was due to receive a pair of beasts captured in St. Mosian's Arboretum, but the gleaner who's meant to make the delivery has yet to appear, and I've grown rather tired of waiting. I tried reaching him via link pearl, but to no avail. I'm tempted to go out and search for him myself, but what if he arrives and I'm not here? So would you be willing to find said gleaner for me? Yeah, I know that feeling. Thank you. He ought to be relatively easy to spot, I should think, considering he's traveling with 2 mud-covered seed team. Search west of here first. I'll check around here just to make sure he's not rounding the corner or some such. Did you find him before I do? Hurry back here, will you? I'll do my best. Alright, we got our work cut out for us. And this music bespeaks a sense of a gentle urgency, like I said, so... let's see about it. Really? Yeah. 95 down to the north, that's... how the hell? Was it over there? Oh my god, I missed it. There was one over there. Yeah. So it was there the whole time and I thought it was down here. Ah, damn. Well...
you suck!
Yep, I do. At least now we can use this elevator, so I can teleport here, go down the elevator, and then get there in a jiffy. Well, alright. I gotta go that way anyway, so might as well start like that, yeah. Let's go. Still fuck with me. Yep. You won't leave me alone until I'm level 92. Which is impossible until at least 2 years from now. At least. And another 50 to 60 bucks too. That violin goes in. 213 yalms to the west. Ooh. Directly west? That puts it right there. Oh yeah, I think we were there and I actually looked around and yeah, it wasn't there, it was down there. You know what, better safe than sorry, I'm gonna double check right now. I don't have to do much either, since I can see where I'm going. Right over there. All I gotta do is use the compass from... let's see. Here, if it says southwest, it's definitely on the... It says to the southwest. Okay, yeah. It's gotta be in this area. It's not over here. Okay, good. Thank God. Not that much faster, but it is a small time save. How many quests do we got? Exactly 5. I like it. Hey, there's one right here. What's up, buddy? Got him. Okay, that takes care of that. Yeah, it's actually shorter to go that way. Going around means I have to go down that damn cave system. Actually, no. I can just do that. No, it's actually still shorter. Anything else to do up here? No. Wait, she's right there. Well, were you able to capture one of those terrible tomatoes? Jesus Christ. You can feel how tomato-filled burlap sack. You can feel how this sentient tomato struggles to escape its confines. Luckily, this sack muffled its piercing screams. Good. The tomato's like... Eat! But pardon me. Even in this sack, I cannot stomach the wretches. But better in than out, I suppose. At least it won't get its disastrously painful juices into anyone's eyes.
I got poison!
You must be curious as to why tomatoes maddened into violence were going amok. Well, the truth is, the gleaner had sowed congeries of vegetable seeds to cultivate on the plantation, and a few of those vermin managed to slip in unnoticed. The soil was exceptionally fertile by the looks of it, because the creatures proliferated with alarming ease, more so than anyone could have possibly guessed. And to provide this tale with an even stranger twist, the juices they squirted into my eyes had a salubrious effect. I no longer have need of my glasses. I can see with perfect clarity now. Though I was in a great deal of pain, mind you. So she did actually get, but there was, a weird benefit to it. Well, when life gives you tomatoes, make eye juice? No, that hasn't a very pithy ring to it at all. At any rate, your services have been most helpful. I will begin my research as soon as I am back in the laboratory. Ah, and before I forget, your reward. Thanks. Some salad. And monies. Where to go first? This is likely a chain quest. Actually, I can somewhat verify that. Actually, no. It's probably not. There's no guarantee. But alright, I'll double back to that one. Wait, I can't leave through here? Oh shit, I gotta go back that way now. Yeah. Oh! Never thought I'd actually see that meme. I'm not gonna have an extra enemy to fight, fuck that. That's right, go away. Alright, Wayward Troll, I'm here to help. I'll take care of these assholes. Crispy, get over here. Grr. Ripe fruit. No troll can resist a fruit this ripe, in more than one way according to your olfactory senses. Here you go, buddy. Everything's alright now. Wow! There he goes. Sweet. This place does remind me of Elpis now. And vice versa. It's basically a modern day version of it. Grr. Look, he's returned! I can't thank you enough. I know they may not look it, but trolls are really quite intelligent. Indeed, they are an intrinsic part of the woodlands of Labyrinthos and keep it healthy and thriving. Though we've a responsibility to put down the more violent and unruly ones, most trolls, such as this one, are kind, docile things. In fact, my friend here has a real chance of becoming leader of his tribe, perhaps even guardian of the forest someday. It is we who saw these creatures removed from their natural habitats and relocated them within Labyrinthos. Thus, we've a responsibility to watch over them, to ensure they are well. And it would be too cruel to dispose of one simply because they're under the weather. Ah yes, your reward. Here, as promised. Now then, high time I saw this fellow return to the outer circuit. Farewell, adventurer. Well, thanks. Good luck. I don't know what this is used for. Also, what the hell was that? Did he, like, poison me or something? I see it. Confirmation on Shipboy and Ether Current. Thank goodness you're here. Papasa caught me by surprise. Gave me a nasty shock. Oh, what are you doing all the way out here? My mission is to protect you. Ah, of course. I suppose all this waiting would make anyone rather nervous. I'll give my apologies to the operator when I deliver these specimens. I don't know, I just wanted to say that. These look like the chocolate ones. The Choco Perkers. As for the specimens themselves, well, let's just say I'm rather surprised they are still in one piece, despite being bathed in lightning. Their Earth alignment probably saved them, come to think of it. That makes sense, actually, yeah. At any rate, thank you, kind stranger. Thought I'd still be among the living if not for your aid. Right then, I had better get going. I want to keep the operator waiting any longer than he already has. It smells about as terrible as you might imagine, perhaps worse. Sulfur powder. Before we use this shit? Or do we use something else here? Herbicidal tincture? Experimental concoction meant to incinerate even the hardest of seedkin casings? Meant to, being the operator phrase. No, it's not this. Oh! I gotta zoom in. There we go. We can't read it, so... The quizzical queen up and flees in a flustered state, leaving behind apples. It would appear that this knavish mandragora was behind the fruit napping. Fuck it, let's just keep going. Yeah, there we go. We might find another ether current. Fuck you. That is some long range that guy has. Holy shit. Oh no. Damn it! Ah, I should have figured. Alright, fuck it. And wouldn't you know it, a massive sized version of what we just bought. I barely get the chance to practice this, so now we'll do this. There. Pull. Oh wait, it's at east. For a minute I almost thought it was... I got my directions confused. Look at that. I see you, you little shit. Get over here. $784 yalms to the south. That's pretty far. That must be way down there. Oof. We'll get there eventually. Does this place double up as another elevator? I guess not. Damn. Or maybe just not yet. Who knows? There you are. I was wondering when I would see you again. The Gleaner told me everything that happened. How you got him out of a tight spot. He seems to have escaped largely unscathed, but the Tyrulians are giving him a thorough inspection just in case. You may not know this, but they're actually a variety of Corpicur. You don't say. Only these happen to be smeared in a unique type of mud originating from the Arboretum. Oh no. The Arboretum, he says? Yeah. Judging by the look on your face, you already know of this species, don't you? Yes, something tells me you're already quite intimate with the Arboretum. Isn't it just a wonderful place? You must be wondering why I required these muddy little things. Well, I had a theory that their earth alignment might prove to be of use in the amplification of said element. I had not expected such an unfortunate accident would come of my curiosity, though. Well, we're none of us worse for the wear, so perhaps not that unfortunate? The Gleaner's still alive and kicking, and the samples made it safely here. All thanks to you, of course. So, all well that ends well, yes? Sure.
You suck!
Ah, there you are. I've come up empty-handed, sad as that is to admit. How did you fare? Were you able to recover the apples? Apples of a size so gargantuan you find your gorge rising a little. A shame, since apples are a rather innocuous fruit, really. You were! Oh my, I can't thank you enough. Goodness me. Now that I've had a proper look at them, they're rather enormous, aren't they? Funny how I didn't see that before. Labyrinthos, as you've surely noticed, is entirely man-made, and our continued prosperity is thanks in part to the elemental reactor and the false sun. Though, if truth be told, those two things are likely to blame for our oversized fruit. Word is there's research afoot to see if the above-ground orchards could produce something of a similar size as well. Given what little we know, though, I'm sure that day is quite a long way off. Oh, begging your pardon. Here I am, talking your ear off, but I'm sure you've better things to be getting on with. Heavens no, I certainly do. Apple pies don't bake themselves now, do they? Thank you again for your help. Why not a scratch on you? I take this to mean my serum did its job then? Sure. I love that you can actually, you can just kill it without it and be like, I didn't bother using it. But yeah, I most certainly did. I didn't use it at first because I was like, fuck it. Might as well practice my full rotation. I never get a chance to, really. Is that so? Goodness, my genius is rather startling, isn't it? That was a tincture most hastily thrown together. Nary a thought was put into it. At any rate, I thank you for services rendered, really. Here for your troubles. Well then, I must return to my pondering. These theories of mine won't hypothesize themselves.
You bastard!
Wasted 14? interesting fate name. Silken Grin. Oh, hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Sort of. Working on the ether burner? Oh dear. I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I'd choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in, day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few lagoons or what have you. The Forum's got enough on their plate as it is. What with deciding who gets to board the Ark and when. A lot of powerful people have opinions about that. Of course. Starting to remind me of that movie 2012. My heart goes out to Master Fortuno and the others. Hardly get a moment's rest, I expect. Do they even have time to sleep? It's a race against time to prepare for the great exodus, but with everyone in such a rush, we're bound to make mistakes. Always. Always. I might argue otherwise, but nope. Helping with the Ark? Even with all the power Master Cockle managed to squeeze out of the ether burner, it's still not enough, apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun the exodus sooner. People are dying and there'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We've spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan and all will be well. Plans do have a way of falling apart sometimes, so don't be too sure, but gotta hold on to that hope, that's true. Gotta do what we can, right? Offering to help? That's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It's mostly lists of things we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, I've not even the slightest idea what they look like. You're in for a treat. I do hope they're not enormous looming giants. Why, I would much prefer something small and fluffy, like that beheaded rabbit that ran by. I knew they were here. Come to think of it, rabbits don't normally wear hats, do they? Or run on their back paws. Perhaps it was an escaped sample. You'll find out soon enough, my dear. Now, if you'll excuse me, milady. It would appear the Loperids have infiltrated Charlene's most heavily guarded facility. How, I know not. What joy to sample the delights of Aetheris! They did their own humming. How marvelous it is to see you again! You'll be pleased to hear I've learned much since our fascinating discussion at the Caratorium. It's all thanks to Urianger, you see. He's taught me the finer points of cooking, which, despite my name, I knew very little about. So many dishes, so many hard-to-pronounce words. Actually, I was rather hoping he'd show me how to bake an Archon loaf. They're quite popular here, though it doesn't sound like it contains any flavor to speak of. Still, if that's the sort of thing your kind enjoys, I shall make enough to last the whole journey. Crikey! I wasn't expecting to see you here, Leon. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to say goodbye, and for having those other Loperids attack you. Terrible misunderstanding that.
You bastard!
Not to worry though, as all have since recovered from the rather savage beating you administered. They bear you no ill will. Well, perhaps a little on account of the savagery, but time heals all wounds. Most anyway.
You suck!
Livingway, what's up, dude? Fancy meeting you here, Leon. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny boat. Toy boat! Oh my god. Which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Aetheris itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny underground miniaturized version of it. Yeah. You're a bit late to the party. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare and they're still not ready! I know, right? I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around. Or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Uyanja and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Won't that be fun? If you're too busy to show us the sights, we'll find other ways to keep ourselves amused. Don't you worry. Wise guides. A tour of Labyrinthos. An unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Bestways Burrow, it would be in our best interest to have the Loporrits acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Charlian collaborators. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspectives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture. What a marvelous idea! Might we begin with that great big what's-it over yonder? Ah yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to Leon. That's Urianger as he walks away knowing he fucking poached them on me. Still singing, huh? Considering Singing Way and Growing Way's specialties, I expect them to pay full attention to your explanations, which I am sure you will be most informative. This is all very intriguing, I'm sure, but where are the food preparation stations? The, what was your word for it? Kitchens? That reminds me. Pudding Way, our newly appointed chief of pudding research, a discipline he himself founded after sampling Urianja's delights, has gone in search of Atheris' ultimate sweet treat. Well, provided it's a pudding, as that's all he ever talked about these days. Have you seen him? Yeah, you could say that. I helped him out with getting some pudding. Not here, though. Upstairs. My word! What magnificent architecture! Such immaculate curvature! I'll have to make several adjustments to my work if I'm to match this degree of craftsmanship. I shall leave no corner unrounded. They're getting insight onto how to make things more hospitable on the moon, huh? The Loporrits' technical expertise thus far outstrip our own. It would be wise to allow them to form their own conclusions as to the function of the various apparatus, rather than offer uninformed suppositions of our own. Unless, that is, unbeknownst to me, thou art possessed of surpassing knowledge concerning the construction and operation of advanced Charlian... what's-its? Sorry, no can do. Goodness me! To build something so large without creation magics is positively stupendous! Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features? Sure. Search around for points of potential interest. Alright. Observe the mushroom-like thing, the tanks, and the metallic tube. What is this? Tanks? What the fuck's over there? Adventurous Ambystoma. Hey! You spot an Ambystoma! An especially lively one at that. It would appear that the concept you observed in another time, another place, was approved for life in the wider world. Somehow. Look at that. The offspring of that ancient Ambystoma, whatever it was called back then, that we helped out when it went on a little adventure, right? Ah, yes. Better times, when Meteon and I were still friends, and he helped me find it. Alright, well I guess we'll just start with this. It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah! This must be for purifying water drawn up from below. Good, deduction, actually. A mushroom-like thing? That's a metallic too, but... Okay, whatever. Is that water I hear from inside that great big tube? It must be because of those cogs and that gigantic wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they draw up the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it too. We made up for the loss of our creation magics through scientific ingenuity, huh? Technology. Mushroom-like thing. Looks nothing like a mushroom to me, but okay. That looks like the trees in Greatest Endsville. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Hold on, that's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced, too. No, it makes sense. That's where they store the water. I know. Some of y'all are probably thinking... You bastard! I know, I deserve it, but it's fine. I couldn't help myself. Oh, not voiced. I mean, yeah. My old significant other would have said the same thing about the shape. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower being distributed elsewhere. At least the mushroom pit. I'm right, aren't I? Yep. I mean, I would think so too, yeah. I knew it! A design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest of environments. For us Loperites, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is of the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that peoples of Aethera sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Many settlements in Thanalan are built near oasis. So wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Can't be. How it is. Oh dear. I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we'd anticipated. Few adjustments may be in order once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. This is true. Master Alfino spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logisticon Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loperites will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Charlian Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big nasty teeth lurking around beyond the safe confines of this settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would become of us. What would have become of us? Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big nasty teeth, Loperites may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Yeah. They're actually people shaking. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to Logisticon Alpha? For my part, I shall act as escort to Living Way and Cooking Way. I entrust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. Leave it to me, Urianger. A more valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some poor beastie. Come along, Growing Way, to the water extraction what's it. There they go. Back to the we can do this music. Mother wears combat boots. Got him. Oh shit. Nighttime already. I have a feeling the way forward is not as clear as we'd like. Could you go and take a look? Perhaps you could tell the local beasties we're not nearly as delicious as we might appear? Sure. Well, here we go. Cool. Thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction is worth these harrowing experiences. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp if it's all the same to you. That's what I'm here for. Well, we're still closer to this settlement, so I'll finish this up though. I couldn't help noticing a distinct lack of carrots along the way, or many of the other vegetables I was expecting to see, though I did catch a glimpse of some sort of bipedal tomato charging about. Must be my imagination. No, not at all actually. You've done well to see those two here safely. They can be a bit skittish at the best of times, so I'm pleasantly surprised they didn't run off and get themselves killed. That was all very exciting, but I'd rather not do it again. Wait. How exactly were we planning to head back later? Let's get moving! That building looks nice and solid and safe! We're on there. My friends, I bid you welcome to Logisticon Alpha. Our destination doth lie at the lift's top. Pray follow me. You will need to use this lift should you wish to go to the medial circuit. Let me know if you are headed that way. That's what I'm here for. Forgive me for asking, but are we any closer to the kitchens? Come to think of it, why am I even here? Atmospheric manipulators are hardly my area of expertise. You should be with Puddingway. Up on the surface at the last stand or whatever. As I understand, places like Labyrinthos are the exception, rather than the rule. You don't all build enormous underground living spaces like this, surely? Nope. That was terrifying, but at least the scenery was more pleasant than what's named Garlemald. As the first impression of Aetheris, it was far from favorable. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Quite literally as is the case here. Indeed. We on deck? On this occasion, 'twould behoove us to seek the counsel of those qualified to describe the workings of the apparatus. They may also be in possession of schematics or other useful documentation should the Loprids request them. As the forum's esteemed guest, 'tis unlikely that they would be refused, yet thou knowest as well as I the changeable dispositions of Charlian bureaucrats. Indeed. Marvelous! Simply marvelous! So this is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life, artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently, most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. Nope. You're all very lucky that Aetheris just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive. Or did mankind turn out the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder? That is a good philosophical question. Maybe, well, scientific as well. Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I cannot wait to see more of it. The other day I was off. I think it was. I didn't say it out loud, but some of y'all might have caught it. I was wearing a T-shirt that said, "There is no Planet B," which was made by some organization I found on Facebook like years ago. That was one of many that's, you know, fighting back, trying to fight back against like global warming and all that. I was like, oh yeah, I'll buy this. I'll buy this as a way of donating and supporting their little cause or whatever. I happened to wear it on a day where like they were talking about the. I think it was close to when we, you know, got the revelation about leaving the planet or whatever because it was gonna fall apart because it was gonna fall apart because of the final days and all that. I thought it was quite appropriate when I looked back at my old stream and at that stream and was just like, oh, what an appropriate shirt to be wearing. There is no Planet B. We only got the one. In real life, anyway. Here, well, there might still be some hope, but so let's just hope it doesn't come to that, right? Agriculture shots. Boom. Oh, this place is safe. Nowhere to sit, but whatever. Actually, there is. Bye, Christy. Oh, it doesn't work. I thought you could sit here. I got you baited. Yeah. Well then, you know what? Where is it? I didn't think you even step back so far. There. I'm gonna sit here, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'll take my break.